So you're thinking about moving to Austin, perhaps for work or just a really nice change of scenery, or maybe you've already made the move, but you're still not quite certain. Whatever it may be, there are a lot of things online that are both true and false. So maybe you're ultimately left wondering what the right path is for you. Where should I live? Where are the most affordable spots? What are the nicest areas? So today I'm going to uncover the top questions I've been asked about Austin over the past 5 years, put all of those into one video for you to create the ultimate guide to living in Austin. Number one question I'm asked is always, where should I live in Austin and where are the good places to live? This is incredibly subjective and a multi-layered question because it's entirely dependent on your particular lifestyle. Are you the type who likes the new master plan communities with amenities, or do you prefer older homes in more established neighborhoods that might be a bit more eclectic? Do you work from home so your commute doesn't matter as much and you're just looking to be as close to downtown as possible? Maybe you're retiring and you're looking for a 55 and over community that has numerous activities like pickleball and various clubs from which to choose. Maybe you're a boater or you love to get out on the water, so you might want to be close to Lake Travis or Lake Austin, just west of downtown. The great news is that all of these spots exist in the greater Austin metro, so you can certainly find something for yourself. Let's first talk more about affordability. The average sales price for a single family home in all of greater Austin is $450,000. When we start talking about particular locations and price points, there are certainly some trends and a general rule of thumb. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Typically speaking, the closer you are to downtown Austin, the higher the price point. When we're exploring some of these more suburban areas and many of the newer master plan communities, you're typically going to find a bit more affordability, but that's not always the case. So be sure to ping me so I can tell you a little bit more about those nuances. Now, there are several counties that make up the entire Austin MSA. And these include Travis, Bastrop, Caldwell, Hayes, and Williamson County. Let's break this down in terms of median sales price. Starting with the city of Austin, the median price sits just over $500,000. Hayes County is $400,000, Williamson $425,000, Caldwell $320,000, Bastrop County $365,000, and Travis County is sitting at $527,000. If you're looking for a more specific breakdown of affordable cities and towns throughout the area, be sure to check out my video highlighting the top 10 most affordable areas throughout Austin. It's incredibly useful and really dials in some of these particular locations within the counties that I just mentioned. If you are looking for more of the affluent areas, we'd somewhat reverse this exercise and find those with a higher average price point. For example, as you begin going west of downtown, you're going to find areas like Terrytown, Rollingwood, and Westlake, all with median price points in the $1 to $2 million range. So as you can see, you have affordable, not so affordable, and really everything in between. What I absolutely love about Austin is the variety of real estate, which you don't always find in other cities and states. From historic homes in the older neighborhoods around downtown to the new construction in our nice master plan communities that are really lending themselves to greater affordability. We even have tear downs that are replaced with multi-million dollar new construction within and around the city of Austin. We have golf course communities and waterfront homes on multiple lakes throughout the city. So you can see that there is certainly something for everyone. The second question I'm often asked is, where can I find a home without an HOA? There are many states where homeowners associations aren't quite common. So let's break this down a little bit more as it relates to Austin specifically. If you're looking to be outside of an HOA, these are going to be found in older areas of each city or town, such as South and Central Austin, areas like Crestview, Allendale, Terrytown, just to name a few. Those are all spots that are close to the city center and in more established older neighborhoods. Then you have the areas that are farther out from downtown, like downtown Georgetown and Round Rock, and areas near Lake Travis that are technically outside of the Austin city limits. These are going to be predominantly areas that do not have HOAs. The trade-off here is that you're not going to have the amenities that you can expect in a community with an HOA, which is what many people have been requesting as of lately. So, for example, you won't find a neighborhood resort style pool or a community fitness center in these non HOA neighborhoods. What always goes hand in hand is a really nice new community with amenities and an HOA. So, as you're browsing homes, just know to expect all of that along the way. But if you're set on being outside of a homeowners association, wanting to keep those monthly costs a little lower, and instead maybe get a gym membership elsewhere or use a friend's community pool or personal pool at their house, you may want to focus on some of these older areas that are outside of the big master plan communities. Again, be sure to reach out to me so I can tell you exactly where these areas are located and where you might really want to place your focus. Diving into this just a little bit more in depth, when you are searching for homes, you're going to come across condo buildings that have higher HOA fees. The reason for this is that they typically also include many other conveniences such as trash, water, a fitness center, pool, common area maintenance, building maintenance, and so many other things. So when you do stumble upon these particular properties, specifically condos and many townhomes, that have relatively affordable price tags, sometimes not always, be sure to pay attention to the HOA costs specifically on these property types. When you're looking into the newer master plan communities that I've mentioned in a lot of my videos, most of those HOA costs are actually quite affordable, offering a lot of value in return, which is a huge appeal to many people. I typically see these costs ranging anywhere from $50 to $75 per month. Again, this typically varies based on not only the size of the community, but the types of amenities offered. As a general rule of thumb, the more amenities in an area, typically the higher the association dues, but not always. So again, be sure to ask those questions the next time we chat. Another question I'm asked on a very frequent basis is, should I go with new construction or resale? Now that we're out of pandemic times and the supply chain has recovered, new construction is definitely back to offering more certainty with their building timelines, which definitely was not the case in those prior years. This was a much harder question to answer just a couple of years ago because it really used to be that you would sign a contract, but really have no idea when your home would actually be ready. Luckily, for many reasons, that is no longer the case. So the bigger question here is for you to decide whether you'd like to come to Austin and potentially rent first, or perhaps you want to make a home shopping visit and put a deposit down on a brand new home that will be ready for you in roughly 6 to 12 months. We have a lot of clients who really like that idea because it secures a home for them well in advance. They can take advantage of the current market conditions, which are certainly much more favorable for buyers right now, and have ample time to plan the logistics of their move. Now, if you don't like that idea because there's too much time between when you find the home and when it will be ready for move-in, you may want a little bit more certainty in purchasing a resale home. With this, you know that you'll find the home, close on it in roughly 30 days, and that's that. It really takes the thought out of many, many things. One of the great things about new construction, especially when you are newer to an area, is that you're going to be moving into a house where everything is brand new. You have a warranty. You can just move into your home and enjoy the community without having any unexpected home ownership headaches, at least most of the time. That's the idea. Ultimately, I find this really comes down to personal preference and lifestyle at the end of the day. One, do you like new construction? If so, do the community locations work for you and your lifestyle, whether that be just personal enjoyment or perhaps commute time to work? Or maybe you're completely on board with buying something that has been remodeled or is in need of remodeling so you can be in a location that better suits your lifestyle. The great news is that all of this exists in the Austin area. So again, be sure to reach out to me so that my team and I can ultimately be your guide. On that note, I want to quickly welcome you to the channel. My name is Aubrey Von Behren. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the Austin area. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we're putting out videos every week about what it's like living here in Austin. So hit that subscribe button and be sure to reach out to us if we can be of any assistance during your move to Austin. Our next one is property taxes. I get asked this all the time. Although Texas does not have a state income tax and our sales tax is relatively low, as well as our cost of living sitting below the national average, we do have property taxes. Now, a lot of people don't fully understand how these work, so I'm going to explain this a little bit further to hopefully provide some clarity. Every year, the county in which your home is located assesses the tax assessed value of your home. Now, keep in mind, this can vary widely between the actual sales price, aka market price of your home, and there are a lot of reasons why this is the case, which I'd be happy to discuss with you on a one-on-one call. So be sure to reach out to me and we'll dive into that specifically a little bit further. With that being said, the average property tax rate in the Austin metro typically sits between the 2 and 2.5% range. And again, it is based on the assessed value of the property, not the market value of the property. The tax rate varies in each community and can be based on many factors, such as the age of the neighborhood and the utility infrastructure in that particular community. There are a couple of things to point out here that not everybody knows about. Although we do have property taxes, there are a variety of tax exemptions that can be put in place to help you keep that bill as low as possible. For example, if your home is going to be used as your primary residence, you can file for a homestead exemption, saving you roughly 20% in taxes. If you're a veteran, there are also specific exemptions related to that as well. In a nutshell, yes, we have property taxes, but our overall tax liability in Austin and Texas in general is statistically much lower than many states and most states throughout the country, which is one of the big draws so many people have chosen to call Texas home in recent years. Let's talk about jobs. When people hear of Austin, they immediately think of tech companies. We've even been nicknamed Silicon Hills in recent years, and there's definitely a reason why. We're home to Dell, IBM, Oracle, Samsung, Apple, and the list goes on and on. Many people are now relocating to the area to work for Tesla or the Boring Company in some capacity too, which has created really dynamic growth within and around Austin. The Austin MSA is actually one of the fastest growing large US job markets in the entire country and has one of the lowest unemployment rates, which, as you can tell, makes it a huge draw for many people relocating. Now, what isn't necessarily at the forefront of people's minds is that Austin is also the state capital of Texas. So we have many government related jobs headquartered here in Austin. We're also home to one of the best universities in the country, the University of Texas at Austin, which is also a very large employer in our metro. Other industries that not many people immediately think of in the Austin area include healthcare and medical, large distribution centers like Amazon, and even grocery retailers such as Whole Foods headquarters and our statewide grocer HEB. Austin is also wonderful because it's a very entrepreneurial atmosphere with thriving small businesses throughout a variety of industries. It attracts so many people with a similar mindset and drive, making it just a really appealing area for all walks of life. This is a big one. Many people who reach out to us ask about walkable areas within Austin, especially those coming from locations like New York City, maybe the Bay Area, and more densely populated locations. Walkability can be a tricky one in our area and most Texas cities for that matter, but let's dive into that a little bit further. I talk a lot about the road infrastructure here in Austin throughout many of my videos because we're very dependent on cars, primarily because our landmass is far greater than many other cities, and we have many suburbs surrounding Austin proper itself. With much of the growth in these newer suburban areas, we also have many new road systems in the works or recently built, which has been really nice. Although this isn't a true loop system around the city like you're going to find in larger metros like Houston and San Antonio, it's certainly providing much more connectivity than we've previously had in the Austin area. In the city of Austin, you can also utilize the bus system and our Metro Rail. The Metro Rail is a newer light rail system that goes as far northwest as Leander and into downtown Austin. For the most part, though, you're going to find yourself really wanting a car due primarily to the way our city is laid out. In terms of walkability, we certainly have some walkable areas. Of course, if you live downtown, this is very walkable to the shops, restaurants, and Lady Bird Lake activities. In East Austin, there's a more urban master plan community called Mueller, and one of the big draws to that community specifically is its walkability. It's a very unique development where you have nearly everything you could possibly need all in one spot. That's really hard to find in our location. If you're just south of the river, Lady Bird Lake, in spots like Zilker, Bolden, and Travis Heights, you can bike or scooter over to many of the popular spots in South Austin. So this would also be a fairly walkable area overall as you're searching for homes. For the most part, many of the newer areas are going to be more car dependent though, so keep that in mind as you're browsing homes online and getting a feel for the different areas. Let's talk about things to do. Austin has become a very popular spot to just pick up and visit. If you're at all familiar with Austin, you might be visiting every year for our big music festivals like Austin City Limits or South by Southwest. Austin has gained a lot of popularity over the years, being the live music capital of the world, and those festivals that I just mentioned really grew in popularity during that time. We're really on the map for a lot of different reasons now, especially after our Formula One track, Circuit of the Americas, was built several years ago. Since then, we've hosted the Formula One Grand Prix every year, and it has brought in an enormous influx of international activity to the city, which was quite unexpected. What's really neat is that throughout the year, that Circuit of the Americas will also host different events like MotoGP. It's really good time. Austin is very popular for its outdoor offerings as well. We have Lake Travis just 30 minutes west of downtown, where you'll find avid boaters, wake surfers, fishermen. And as you work your way back towards Austin, you'll find Lake Austin, which is technically the Colorado River, where you'll also find people boating and kayaking. And when you get back into downtown Austin, you have Lady Bird Lake, which is still technically the Colorado River. At all hours, though, you're going to find people walking and jogging along the river, kayaking, and even rowing down the lake. It's a really great spot. Again, super fun and active community. There are also a ton of shows popping up throughout the city all the time. We have several large venues that host all of the big musicians throughout the year. We also have a handful of really great comedy clubs, including Joe Rogan's newer Mothership venue on 6th Street. We are also home to the Austin Symphony and Ballet and so much more. So there's really something for everyone in terms of things to do in the Austin area. There's a lot of information out there about Austin's weather, especially from people who haven't lived in Texas for a very long time or at all. In 2022, we had an unseasonably hot summer, which is not our norm. We do have warmer, hotter Texas summers, but 100-degree temperatures are not typical for us. The Austin area averages about 300 days of sunshine, which is why you'll find such an active lifestyle in and around the entire metro. Our normal average daily temperature is roughly 70 degrees, and our warmest month is August, and our coldest month is January. So during our winters, you'll find them to be quite mild, and they also vary almost day to day. That's sort of the Texas joke. You never know what you're going to expect that day. But you might wake up to 40-degree temperatures, but have a nice 70 to 75-degree afternoon. So be sure to dress in layers when you're in Texas during some of these seasons. Spring is the absolute perfect weather in Austin. In most areas of the country, you're still thawing out during this time, but our weather is really sunny and mild during these spring months, and one of the most popular times for people to visit and explore the city if you are considering a move to the area. The swimming holes start to get much busier, the trails more popular, and of course, the restaurant patios certainly fill up throughout the city, so be sure to plan in advance. Let's talk about our summers. You'll find warm days and nights, water, music, and nature all throughout the city. Even when it gets to be August, our hottest month, people are still enjoying the outdoors, their pools, our local lakes and rivers. You'll be just fine as long as you dress appropriately and wear some sunscreen. But to dispel the myths, our average temperature in August is 86.5 degrees, and our average normal high for August is 97.8 degrees. So all in all, not too bad depending on what you're used to. Now, keep in mind, Austin is also typically a drier heat, so that is much more tolerable in my opinion compared to cities that are closer to the coast like Houston. I get a lot of questions about whether Austin has any other weather patterns people should know about. One of those would be that our storms can consist of hail, which tends to be in north and northwest Austin most of the time, but not all of the time. So here and there, you may expect some hail damage to your vehicle, possibly your roof if you get caught in one of those hailstorms. Very rarely, we have a handful of small tornadoes a ways north of Austin in smaller towns like Jarrell and Granger that, again, are north and northeast of Austin. But this is certainly not the norm for our area in and around Austin. Most tornadoes, especially larger tornadoes, occur more so north as you go towards Dallas and that Dallas-Fort Worth metro. This has been our guide to Austin, Texas to get you started. So let me know in the comments if there was anything that you may have picked up from this video that you didn't already know. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we're putting out new videos every week about what it's like living in Austin. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next video.